Hello, I'm Ray McEerney, and this is James Martin, my favourite man to have around the kitchen on Food for Lovers. And we're going to do something a little bit romantic in the kitchen today with someone who's used to having men around, shall we say, the wonderful Cynthia Payne.
Hello.
Cynthia.
Yeah, I like men.
Kiss. I'm trying to kiss with her.
You all right?
Right.
Fab.
Do you like cooking, Cynthia?
No.
No.
Well,
I'm going to
I
cook
like
for
somebody
you.
to do it for me.
I'm going
Well,
to do it
James
for you.
is that man.
We're going to do a, sounds onerous, a chocolate box. But we're actually going to make it out of a biscuit mixture and then fill it with a chocolate mousse and lovely raspberries, fresh
chocolate
raspberries.
box?
Yeah, and I'm going to do you some sort of prawns, idea of like sort of
Oh, lovely. Prawns.
roasted prawns in
Scampi.
the oven with almonds. You like scampi? Yeah, with similar sort of thing, but with almonds, coriander and mustard, and bake it in the oven. Quite straightforward and quite simple.
Sounds delicious. And in the meantime, I'm going to make a cocktail, which is called an Antiguan...
Rum cocktail.
Antiguan rum cocktail, obviously from Antigua. And that is, I'm going to put it in the shaker here. You partial to a bit of a cocktail, Cynthia?
When I'm in the mood, yeah.
Are you in the mood today? A little bit of ice,
This is quite a good one, actually.
dark rum. Obviously, I'm making it for 3 here, so don't worry,
Yeah, that's-
I
Cynthia.
prefer rum to whiskey.
Oh, do you? Some lime juice.
Lime juice.
Chuck that in there. I like a bit of lime juice. Some Angostura.
Yeah.
And a little bit of
Stock syrup.
stock syrup, which is just sugar and water.
Which is the sugar and water, but just brought to the boil, which is quite straightforward.
Enough?
A little bit more.
A little bit more.
And then you
Sweeten.
put plenty of pineapple juice and orange juice in.
Pineapple juice. Very Caribbean.
And orange
And
juice.
orange juice.
Mixture of the two. So,
There we go. Did you serve cocktails at your parties, Cynthia?
No, we didn't have time for that, did we?
Straight down to business, eh?
Yeah.
Right. Let's
They
see.
drink afterwards, not before.
What did you serve them afterwards? Beer or wine or what?
No, the men would always drink afterwards, not before. You know the reason why.
yeah, I know the reason why, actually, yeah.
What is that reason, James?
I'm sure to tell
One
you.
performs
I'm sure
better
to tell you, yes. That's why one doesn't drink this while he's
while
cooking.
performing in the kitchen. There we are, one for Cynthia.
Yeah.
Would you like to help yourself, James?
There we go. Cheers.
So, Antiguan rum cocktail.
It's nice, that.
Doesn't taste
Nice
too
to have
alcoholic,
when you're
does
on
it?
holiday.
It's nice, isn't it?
I'm rather partial to that.
Yeah, that is quite nice, actually.
Like
For
that.
me, not being a drinker.
We don't really taste the rum too much.
No.
It's there. Don't be fooled.
nice.
So we'll leave you in the kitchen.
Okay.
Yeah.
So first thing I'm
here.
going to get on with is I'll just show you how to make this tuille mixture. Now we're going to do a chocolate box. It's quite straightforward, but for this we need a tuille mix, uses our base for our little biscuit mixture, which is a mixture of softened butter, flour, ice and sugar and egg white mixed together, and we end up with this mixture here. We just literally put all the dry ingredients in first, add the soft butter and then fold in the egg whites, and all we do is just leave that to rest for about a couple of hours in the fridge, and we end up with this. To make our little chocolate mixture, which of course we've got chocolate mousse to go on it as well, all we do is get some cocoa powder, place that into a bowl and mix in some cold water. Just a little bit of water in there. And what we're doing is we're mixing this into a paste, and it will get very, very thick. And you add enough water just to make it into sort of a, sounds ridiculous, but a wallpaper paste sort of consistency. But it'll all start to come.
cold water, James, because I was making cocoa. It goes into lumps with cold
It
water.
will do. It will do into, but you literally use a whisk if it does go too much.
Right.
But we're not really too bothered about this because what we're going to do is spread it out into a tray anyway, so it won't really make any difference. And the paste that you need to make, you can see it all starting to come together, is quite thick anyway. So you add a little bit more. That's more or less just the right amount. So you can see we've got a nice thick paste there. And the more you mix it, I mean, that's not got any lumps in it at all, and I've just mixed that with a spoon, so that's perfectly all right. And all we do is grab our little bit of, this is some non-stick Teflon. You can get this in supermarkets now. Pop our little chocolate mixture on top of there, like that. Spread it over the top, like so. And then using a palette knife, literally spread this throughout the entire sheet.
So it's quite thin now.
Yeah, we want to make it nice and thin, like that. So let's just spread it all over the place like that. So you get a nice even sort of spread all over, like so. Grab a fork, and this creates like a, it sounds ridiculous, but it does create sort of a wooden texture when we actually make our little chocolate box. Just with a fork, just pop that in to create these little lines all over the top. Simple as that. And then what we're going to do is we've actually cut out, she's using a little bit of cardboard, you can make these out of plastic, little lids off plastic cartons, to create some little templates. And this actually creates our little box, because what we're going to do is actually, when this cooks, we wrap it around a mould, which we have over here.
Right.
And we eventually get out with our chocolate box. So you need to cut this out the same width of the actual ring. So you literally mark it on the ring in one point, roll the ring over, and allow about another centimetre before you actually measure out your
So it's a little
length.
sort of chocolate tube,
Yeah,
really.
little tube. And then literally that's going to be our lid as well, and we're going to fill that with a chocolate mousse. Quite straightforward. So I'm going to
Sounds
leave that
very
to rest before I
complicated.
actually spread that with our tuile mix, and then I'll give you a shout when I'm ready to bake that in the oven.
Okay.
Simple as that.
Now, Cynthia, of course, as we know, even though it's 22 years ago, can we believe it's 22 years ago?
Terrible.
Your infamous court case for Madame Sin's House of Sin.
Yes.
I've got a photograph here. Now, I believe this is actually a mock-up of one of your
Yes.
parties. These aren't real people.
This is a reproduction of the video documentary I made in 1996.
And what was that called, the video?
That was called The House of Sin. You can get it on the internet.
So that was, you starred in that, because I know we've had Wish You Were Here and also...
Well, Wish You Were Here is my early life, starring the young Emily Lloyd. That made her a star overnight.
And
But a lot
personal-
of people don't realise that's my early life. They
No.
kept it quiet. I
Why
don't know
did they do
why.
that?
I don't know why, because my agent said there was so much of Belcher in 1987, people were getting fed up with watching Cynthia Payne on the box. They said, oh no, not another film. So they kept that quiet, but they talk about it now. But the best part, I think, was Personal Services starring Julie Walters.
Yes, which was all about your later life. But I mean,
Yes.
actually, up until 1978, of course, nobody knew really who you were, apart from the people that came to your parties. And
Party, yeah.
You had a perfectly ordinary, to the outside eye,
Yeah.
life.
Very respectable woman.
Were you
walking about
married?
in flat heel shoes. Now, it's one mistake I haven't made.
Very good. Congratulations on that. But you had a child.
Yes, I had a child, and he's grown up now, naturally, and I have grandchildren, and
How old are your grandchildren?
17 and 12.
So you never really lived with your son's father. You didn't.
No, you know, the same old story, unmarried mother, the man runs off. And
Was that
we went to our married mother's home in those days,
Oh, did you?
1950. It was pretty hard going.
Because obviously you were encouraged. If a girl got pregnant in those days, you had to marry someone. Didn't
Well,
you?
you had them adopted. I was the only girl in the unmarried mother's home that was going to try and keep her child. All the others had mothers, and where I didn't. And they weren't allowed to bring the child home to the mothers. It was terrible. And a lot of girls in the 50s had their kids adopted.
Yeah. So you were something quite unusual then in
Unusual,
society.
yeah.
Did
It needed a lot of guts.
Yes, I'm sure. Did people say things like, "Oh yes, Cynthia Payne, she hasn't got a husband, and that's her"?
Well, I was living in London at the time, and they're more broad-minded in London. I came from a very small Sussex town, Bognor Regis, and of course it would have been more of a scandal then. But of course in those days there wasn't social security and council flats.
So how did you cope?
When I look back on it, God knows, I didn't cope very well.
Were
If
you
it
able
wasn't-
to feed your son? I mean, what sort of food did you?
Well, no, I was able to have a very good Irish lady that helped me look after him while I went out to work. But I did two jobs.
Were you waitressing then? Yeah?
I know, I worked in a factory during the day, finished now, and I worked as an usherette during the evening. But it was hard going.
I mean, you never really saw much of your son when he was
No, not
growing
really.
up.
I missed his growing up. I missed the first walk, and no, I think actually young people today have got it made, especially with the morning after pill.
Yes.
I wish
If
I
only
had
they'd had that
that.
in your day.
Oh.
And so did you come to the idea of running parties?
Well, I wanted my own home, you see. I only had one room in those days, and I wanted the deposit for a house.
Yeah.
And because ladies on their own, women on their own, they didn't give mortgages. You had to have a very high deposit.
It was a very
So
good idea to
I
think
saw
of.
the niche in the market. I was enjoying my parties. I mean, I gave my parties for nothing in the beginning, and I used to foot the bill. And then I found out that men were looking for sex and girls were looking for money, and I thought if you put the two together, you'd have a darn good party.
We'll talk a little bit more about it. Let's just see what James is doing.
Me, what
over
have
there.
I got on here? I've got my little tuile mixture over here, and all we do is literally spread this mixture over the top of your chocolate mix, which I've put on the template like that. And then when we actually lift this off, there we go, pull that off like that. We end up with a nice template. You can wipe this over, this little template, and then place that onto the tray. We're going to bake that in the oven about 180 degrees. That needs for about 3 to 4 minutes. While that's on the go, we can do our quick little chocolate mousse in here, which I've got literally a little bit of sugar and some egg yolk. That's gone in there. We'll whisk this up, gradually just cook that just slightly, like that. Then I'm going to throw into here nice and quickly, is just throw in the cocoa powder, like that, mix that in, together with my honey.
So that's the only sweetener really in there now?
Just, yeah, there is a little bit of sugar as well, but we just, if you wish, but just a little bit of honey is nice. We then throw in our chocolate, our melted chocolate, like that. Like,
is there a particular chocolate that you like to use?
Not really, I wouldn't use a bitter chocolate, really.
But dark chocolate? Dark
chocolate. A little bit of coffee goes in there, like that. We then mix this all together. There we go. And then all I'm going to do then is just fold in our whipped cream, fold in our egg white. But I'll tell you what, it's just enough time to go for a quick break. Join us in a minute and this should have this done. See you in a minute. Hello and welcome back. Now I've got my 2 rings here. Now literally before the break I popped these in the oven, which are just about there. You see these little biscuit mixture things here? Which are about perfect. Now what we don't do is actually touch our little round ones there, because I'm going to actually you're going to use that as a lid. But all we do then is just trim off these and roll this around your little ring. See? Simple as that. Roll it around your ring, lift it off, knock off the remainder of that cocoa powder mix, squeeze it like that so it holds it together, and we end up with a chocolate box. Simple as that. Simple as and easy as that. Another one, all we do, grab the ring again, roll this round, and this tuille mixture sets sort of hard, and we just knock off the remainder of our cocoa powder again.
You make it look so easy with your rolling it round your little ring.
It is, it's easy, promise you. But literally like that.
Sure it wouldn't be if I did it.
And we've got a nice little box there. And what we do with our little lids, again, we've got our mixture, we can then just knock off the remainder there, and we've got a nice little lid, and that's going to go on the top like that. Our chocolate mousse is there ready, but over here, I know you like prawns, don't you? Especially scampi. But we're going to do a variation of this, which is using these wonderful, wonderful tiger prawns, which I don't know if you've had. They are fabulous.
So they go pink when you cook them?
They do go pink, yeah. Fabulous.
They don't look very appetising at the moment, do they?
No, they are absolutely fab. And all we do then is literally grab, we've got in here some little bit of chopped coriander and some flaked almonds that I've just roasted off. And all we do is crush these up like that. Crush them all up like that, put them onto a tray. And mix the almonds together with the chopped coriander. It's quite straightforward this. It's a nice easy little snack. A little bit of black pepper, a little bit of salt.
No nibbed almonds today then?
No nibbed almonds today, no. Literally grab our prawns, throw those in. And that, I'm going to cook them all, why not? A little bit of salt and pepper in there. And then you can throw in your mustard and use your hands. So throw in the mustard like that.
What sort of mustard is that?
This is a little bit of grey mustard, but I've mixed grain and Dijon mustard together, but you can just use one or the other. Mix them together, but you need to use your hands for this. A spoon doesn't get all the sort of prawns actually mixed in with the mustard, like that. So we've got our seasoning in there with our mustard, and the mustard creates like a binding agent for our almonds
and
our
coriander.
And all we do then is just roll these up like that, in our mixture like that. And you end up with these wonderful little prawns. And we're actually going to just roast those off in the oven. They'll be fantastic. Just
How long do they take to roast off?
Plain hot. Only, what, three maybe 4 minutes.
You don't have to turn them or anything?
Don't have to turn them, just literally pop them straight in the oven so you can taste them straight away.
Ooh, good.
Easy and as simple as that.
Thank you, James. So now, Cynthia, can I just come back to this photograph, because this was for your video. And they were actors, but your parties were like that, presumably, with girls in skimpy outfits and...
Yes, well, that was a reconstruction, but we used to have an old boy that used to come to my parties, and one day he came and he said, I can't manage to get on a bus anymore. He said I'm not very well. I said, well, don't worry, I'll get a car to fetch you and bring you back. I'll find somebody in your neighbourhood somewhere. So he said, I'll be very grateful. So he came to my party. He said, thank you very much for supplying the car. And he looked at me and he said, I'm getting so old now. He said, I'm having even Meals on Wheels brought in now. So I looked at him and I said, well, I said, no, you've got crumpet on wheels, haven't you? And everybody laughed, you know, but he didn't live much longer after that. I think he came to one more party and he was gone. But at least he died happy. But I should never forget that. I can always call that story crumpet on wheels.
So when you say getting on, I mean, how old? What was the oldest person that you had coming to your party?
70.
And they used to get a reduced rate, obviously, for...
Well, no, I only knocked £5 off road age pensions that really didn't have the money. We had disabled people and all. Not too many, because they used to block the gangways up. And when I had my first raid, it said in the Daily Mirror the next day, at the end it said that after the raid, one man sped off in a wheelchair after police assisted him down the house steps. And another, with the aid of a walking stick, he collapsed shorting into a garden hedge.
I think that's why the public liked you, because all these stories were funny. But did you never found love with any of your because I know that you...
not really.
You didn't used to run the parties rather than actually participate,
well,
so to speak.
I did a little bit in my younger day, but not much, no. Not at the parties, I only organised it.
Did any of
In my 30s I was doing it, in my 40s I was organising it, and in my 60s, unfortunately, I'm only going to talk about it.
What about the 50s? Yes, you've missed out a whole decade there.
Our 50s were great.
Do you enjoy fame?
Yes, not as much as I used to, but I wish I'd had my fame when I was in my 40s, because you have that much energy. Because I've burnt myself out really 50 to 60. I've done so much talking, I've lost, like the vocal cords weren't trained for me to talk. And then I had to promote the films and the books.
It's never too late to have vocal training, is it? I mean,
yeah, no, I'm on the way out now, aren't I?
James, how's it going over there?
Not bad. I'm just literally making one of these up, which all we do is I've mixed here a little bit of raspberry sauce, which is, I know you love raspberries as well, so we just literally...
Wonderful, vivid colour that is.
Nice little raspberries.
Almost
just
bagel.
literally fresh raspberries blitzed in a machine, in a blender, just with a little bit of sugar, and passed through a sieve. Simple as that. And all we do is grab our little chocolate box like that, fill it with our chocolate mousse, and then spoon this lovely rich mixture in.
Would you normally chill the chocolate?
It can be chilled down, but I just think the mixture of the two together, so you've got the biscuit mixture and then this sort of rich mousse as well, goes quite well. A few raspberries as well, in the top like that. It's easy and simple as that. And then pop on the lid, and then we can pop that on the top. So literally, there we go. Put those on the top like that. You've got a nice little box. And then you just stick on a little bit of mint, and that's it. Simple and straightforward as that. You can have a taste and dive in.
Your favourite raspberries, aren't they?
Naturally. I don't eat enough fruit, really.
Demolish it for me.
Oh.
Thank you.
But the mixture of the three ingredients go really well together.
You going to taste some of this?
It's going to spoil my dinner, isn't it?
But our prawns will be about another 2 minutes.
All right.
Well, I'm just going to have a
Little bit of a taste. Sorry, we have demolished it. You did say we could.
You have to.
I just wanted to try a little bit of this tuille mix. So, do you regret that you didn't, that you've not got someone that you can spend the rest of your life with, Cynthia?
Well, even if I met somebody now, and, you know, I wouldn't have the time to... I mean, if a man marries a woman, he wants commitment. And what commitment can I give? I don't want to cook 3 meals a day and look after an elderly man in my lifetime. I want some young man to look after me. I just hope I make the money so that I'll be able to have some young man look after me.
He could cook for you, clean for you. He's very good
If
around the
I
house.
had the Madam Scene's wine bar, I've got to get people like him, haven't I?
I can tell you what, I know a lot of chefs who would come and do it for you, definitely.
Yeah, I know. I'm quite sure they would.
Well, you could start it as a charity thing. You could, do a one night and see how it went. Get all the chefs in, get all your mates in, James.
Well, my investor would say to me, well, the first thing you've got to do is get a good manager and a good chef.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't tolerate bad food, not in my establishment. No way. So you've got to get a good chef.
It strikes me, Cynthia, that you don't suffer fools gladly anyway, that you're quite the tough lady, frankly.
Well, they called me, my author called me tough but lovable, I think.
Did any of the girls ever upset you if they stepped out of line or anything?
Well, if I thought they were, you had to watch them. Even the nicest person, if they see something, they just whip it.
Where did you find the girls?
Well, I was very lucky, really. I used to get enthusiastic amateurs. And, of course, they're the ones that enjoy a party. So I think that's why my parties were so good. Because, you could tell they were all enjoying it.
Yes. But I mean, contrary to popular belief, you didn't actually make a lot of money.
No, I didn't make a lot of money. Even with the films, I only made 10,000 each. Because you see, they weren't making films in 1980. England wasn't.
No.
Mine was the last 2 films that they made.
It's better now, isn't it, really?
Oh yes, if I'd done it now, you know.
Did any of your girls ever go off and marry any of the
One
clients?
or 2 rich men, yeah, 1 or 2. I think they used to come because they were lonely and were trying to find the right mate. 2 girls
So
I
have you
know
been to some
married
of the
very
weddings?
well. No, 2 girls married very well. No, I didn't go to the weddings, but.
So you played Cupid, really?
Well, I did in Holloway Prison.
Did you? Who with?
Yeah.
You didn't get these in Holloway, there we go.
Oh, lovely.
That is very,
yeah,
very
I can
good,
eat
and I'm
that.
sorry that it's so demolished. Quite hot.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Like those.
This is unusual, this.
Nice though, isn't it? And the tiger prawns with the
Would you have
mustard.
one?
Mustard and almonds and coriander. It's fab.
So we have
Very
to think
simple.
of some recipes for Cynthia's wine bar.
Yeah.
Nuts on prawns.
Nuts on prawns.
Yeah. There you go.
Not prawn cocktail.
But I think it's a fab idea.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
it's really-
Everybody says it's a good idea, but I've been talking about this for the last 10 years. But there's one person that wanted to do it, but I didn't like working with him. But I want to make sure the next thing I do is not underfunded.
Yeah.
But I might put an advert in the Financial Times if this person I know doesn't come up with it, and I reckon the replies would be quite amazing.
I think it'd be pretty good. We look forward to it anyway.
And we can make a documentary about opening your
Yeah,
wine bar.
Madam Sins in Lights in Soho. It should be in Soho, let's face it. But yes, I think all my memorabilia around the walls and the dress where I went to court in, I've kept even the little black dress with photographs. I took
it's
photographs every day I went
very
to court.
good idea.
I took photographs.
Very good
Fabulous.
idea. Thank you very much for coming in, Cynthia. Thank
See
you,
you.
James.
Thank you.
You've done it again. Join us next time on Food for Lovers. We like those.
Yeah, you got your card on you.
It's good.
No, seriously. No, I mean, in case this Madam Sins wine bar comes off.